Keto is not supposed to feel like you are falling apart. A lot of people misread misery as momentum and call it keto flu, then push harder. That is how you miss real warning signs. If you have chest pain, fainting, severe shortness of breath, nonstop vomiting, confusion, or intense right upper belly pain, you stop and get medical help. Otherwise, most rough starts are fixable. You just need to know what to stop for and what to adjust, especially in those first 2 weeks. Moving to slide 2, use the 2-week rule as your reality check. The first few days can feel flat. You might be weaker in workouts, sleep can wobble, and your mood can be edgy. That is common during the shift in fuel and fluids. But the direction matters more than the intensity. By the end of week 1, symptoms should be trending down, not stacking up. By the end of week 2, your energy should be gradually returning, sleep should be more predictable, and training should feel close to normal, even if performance is not fully back yet. If you are getting worse after day 7, or you still feel wrecked at day 14, it is not grit. It is usually a missing lever you can pull, and the most common one is not willpower. Moving to slide 3. Most early keto misery is electrolytes, not magic. When insulin drops, your kidneys dump sodium and water. That can trigger headache, weakness, dizziness, and that heart-pounding feeling when you stand up. Night cramps and mid-afternoon brain fog fit the same pattern. Start simple. Salt your food aggressively for a few days and add a salty drink. Broth works. An electrolyte mix works. If you're active or sweating, you usually need more, not less. Potassium matters too, but do not megadose it. Get it from food like avocado, leafy greens, and meat, unless your clinician has you supplement. Magnesium can help cramps and sleep, especially glycinate at night. If you have kidney disease, heart failure, or blood pressure meds, do not freestyle electrolytes. For everyone else, fixing sodium is often the difference between quitting and cruising. Moving to slide 4. Another common mistake is going too lean because protein only feels clean. You end up eating chicken breast and eggs, barely adding fat, and then hunger comes roaring back fast. Low fat can also show up as cold hands and feet, irritability, and sleep breaking at 2 or 3 a.m. Some people see the scales stall, even while they are grinding, because they are underfueled and more stressed. The fix is not to drink butter. It is to make meals more satisfying. Add a real fat source to each meal, like olive oil, salmon, whole eggs, cheese, or fattier cuts of meat, and stop chasing ultra-low calories while you are adapting. Keep carbs low, keep protein adequate, and let fat do its job as the energy lever. When you feel calm between meals again, you are back in control, and your gut usually tells you what it needs next. Moving to slide 5. Constipation is the trap that sneaks up on you because you think you are eating healthier. You cut out bread, cereal, beans, and most fruit, and your fiber drops without you noticing. At the same time, you are losing water and sodium early on, so the colon pulls more water out of stool. Less bulk plus less water means slow transit. Then you strain. That is when you get pain, bloating, and sometimes hemorrhoids, and people start leaning on stimulant laxatives, which can backfire and create dependency. Fix it like a system. First, get hydration and sodium back to normal, because dry stool will not move. Second, rebuild bulk with low-carb fiber. Think leafy greens, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, mushrooms, chia, flax, and psyllium if you tolerate it. Add it gradually so you do not just inflate with gas. Third, use magnesium strategically. For some people, magnesium citrate helps bowel movements, while glycinate helps sleep. But start low and adjust based on response. If you go more than 3 days without a bowel movement, have severe abdominal pain, or see blood you cannot explain, do not tough it out. Regular, easy bowel movements are part of doing keto safely, and they can also reveal when your digestion is under more stress than you think. Moving to slide 6. If you get a tight, cramping pain under your right ribs, especially 30 to 90 minutes after a fatty meal, your gallbladder may be sending up a flare. That pain can radiate to your right shoulder blade or straight through to your back. Greasy food can also trigger nausea, burping, or a heavy, queasy feeling that makes you swear off fat for a while. Here's why this matters in real life. Your gallbladder squeezes hardest when fat hits your small intestine. If there are gallstones or thick, sludgy bile, that squeeze can spike pressure and cause classic biliary colic. Rapid weight loss raises the risk because the liver dumps more cholesterol into bile, and the gallbladder may empty less often, so things can crystallize. What you do, if this is happening, avoid very large, high-fat meals for now. Keep fat moderate and spread out. Prioritize steady weight loss and stay well hydrated. Seek urgent care if pain lasts more than a few hours, you get fever, vomiting you cannot stop, yellowing eyes, or dark urine. Those are not willpower problems. They are warning lights worth respecting, because pressure in one system can echo into others. Moving to slide 7. Heart rhythm changes can show up as skipped beats, fluttering, or a sudden racing heart while you are just sitting there. Some people get brief shortness of breath or a wave of weakness that tracks with the palpitations. A common driver is electrolytes and fluid shifts. Low-carb starts, heavy sweating, diuretics, vomiting, or aggressive fasting can drop sodium and potassium. Magnesium can run low too, especially if your diet is restricted. Caffeine, pre-workout, and poor sleep can amplify the signal. What you do: check the basics first. Drink enough water, salt your food if you are not sodium restricted, and get potassium from foods like potatoes, beans, yogurt, and fruit. Consider magnesium glycinate at night if you tolerate it. If you have chest pain, fainting, a known heart condition, or the racing is sustained, get medical care. A steady heart rate is often the first clue that your plan is pushing your body into a stress response that can also hit your mood. Moving to slide 8. Mood crashes that matter are not just feeling a little off. It is anxiety that spikes out of nowhere, irritability that feels hard to control, a low mood that deepens day by day, and sleep that becomes light and fragmented. Food obsession getting loud is another big signal, especially if it feels intrusive. This often happens when energy availability is too low for too long. Your brain does not negotiate when it senses scarcity. Add inconsistent carbs, too much caffeine, or late-day undereating, and you can get bigger swings in stress hormones and worse sleep. What you do: tighten the routine before you tighten the diet. Eat a real breakfast with protein and carbs, and do not let lunch slide into a snack. Add a carb serving at dinner if you are waking at night. Cap caffeine after late morning. If your mood is sliding, bring someone in, your clinician, therapist, or a trusted person who will take it seriously. When your nervous system is running hot, training can start to feel like you are dragging your body through sand. Moving to slide 9. If workouts suddenly feel impossible, pay attention. You warm up and it already feels heavy. Your legs burn early, your heart rate climbs faster than usual, and then recovery takes days instead of a night. Some people notice sleep is worse after training, not better, and performance keeps declining even though effort is high. This is often a mismatch between training load and fuel, plus accumulated stress. Low glycogen can make hard sessions feel brutal. Undereating protein or total calories slows repair. If you are stacking intense workouts while sleep is fragmented, you can drift into an overreach state where your body protects itself by downshifting performance. What you do: reduce intensity for a week, keep easy movement, and bring calories back toward maintenance, especially carbs around training and protein spaced across the day. Aim for a consistent bedtime and cut alcohol. If resting heart rate is elevated, motivation is dropping, and soreness is lingering, treat it like a recovery problem, not a discipline problem. When training is underfueled, blood sugar can start throwing red flags too. Moving to slide 10. Blood sugar red flags look like shakiness between meals, sweaty, confused episodes, waking up hungry at night, and sudden aggressive carb cravings. If you take diabetes medications, especially insulin or sulfonylureas, a new diet or increased exercise can make doses overshoot. What you do: do not tough it out. Check your glucose if you can, carry fast carbs, and talk with your prescriber promptly about adjusting meds. Getting stable here sets the stage for spotting deeper hormone clues, including thyroid and cycle shifts. Moving to slide 11. If keto is going wrong, your thyroid and menstrual cycle often give early clues. Feeling cold all day, especially hands and feet, can happen when your overall energy intake is too low for too long, or your carbs drop so hard that training and daily stress push your body into conservation mode. If hair shedding ramps up, think timeline. Hair loss often shows up weeks after a big deficit, rapid weight loss, or not enough protein, iron, zinc, or iodine. An irregular cycle, lighter periods or skipped periods, plus a noticeable drop in libido is a big signal that your body does not feel safe investing in reproduction right now. Fatigue despite enough sleep can come from underfueling, low electrolytes, or pushing intensity while recovering poorly. Your move is to stop guessing and run a quick audit. Are you in a steep calorie deficit? Are you lifting or doing HIIT while also cutting carbs hard? Are you consistently salting food and getting enough potassium and magnesium? Are you getting a real protein target daily and not just fat calories? When these symptoms stack, treat it as a system-wide signal, not a willpower problem, and you will also start noticing how your gut reacts to the exact foods you chose to stay low carb. Moving to slide 12. A lot of keto side effects are really gut reactions to specific keto foods. Sugar alcohols like erythritol, xylitol, and maltitol can pull water into the intestine and ferment, so diarrhea, gas, and urgency are common. High dairy, especially lots of cream, cheese, or whey-based treats, can trigger bloating if you are sensitive to lactose or dairy proteins. MCT oil is useful, but too much too fast is a classic cause of cramps and loose stools. Low vegetable variety can starve your gut of different fibers, which can worsen constipation or make your digestion feel unpredictable. And hidden emulsifiers in processed low-carb bars and sauces can irritate some people. Make this simple. Remove one suspect for a week, then reintroduce a small amount and watch the response. When your gut is calm, it becomes obvious whether you should keep going, adjust, or stop. Moving to slide 13. If you have emergency symptoms like severe abdominal pain, fainting, chest pain, black or bloody stool, or rapid worsening, get medical care. If symptoms persist but are not urgent, make changes rather than pushing through. Track trends for 2 weeks. Sleep, energy, bowel habits, cycle, training performance. Change one variable at a time so you know what helped. If you take medications, especially for diabetes, blood pressure, thyroid, or mood, get clinician guidance before making major diet shifts. Subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition that you can actually use. Con it with the one symptom you want help troubleshooting. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Burn fat efficiently. Think clearly. Live steadily.